Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, beautiful souls. You are in a vortex. You are in a portal. I don't know how many of you are feeling this already. I was leading one of my group calls this morning and I was telling the ladies there, are you all feeling the energy right now? Michelle and Jessica and I were just
Yes,
talking before we went
yes.
live. There is such powerful energy here in this community and specifically in this event this week. We are so honored, so grateful, so excited. We are part of something much bigger. Each of us. I hope you feel that. And I know that the message of the empire is speaking to you if you're here. And we're going to dive deep into that today and really help you expand your vision for your empire, for what you're stepping into, for what you're building and creating as we go into 2026. But this is going to be an experience. This is, like I said, a portal. This is a place, these next 3 days. This is an activation where you leave everything behind that no longer serves from 2025, from who you were before, from maybe anything you were holding on to that is not your best and highest good in business and in life. And you open yourself up to be available to build, live, experience your empire as we go into 2026 and the rest of your life. And so you
Mhm.
may know exactly what that looks like. Chances are you don't know what that looks like yet, but you know that there's something bigger for you. You know that you're called. So before before we go any further, I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to have my powerful, powerful co-creators, Jessica and Michelle, introduce themselves as well. And we are going to step into the unknown in a really beautiful, powerful way here. I think I shared a little bit of why we are here today. I'll introduce myself. I'll let Jessica and Michelle introduce themselves. So if we have not connected previously, my name is Elise Archer. I'm the founder and CEO of She Sells and Superhuman Selling. I specialize in helping specifically women quantum leap in all areas of life, business, sales, money. Those are kind of my jam. I'm a mama, I'm a wife. I had my own personal experience, which I'll speak to a little bit this week, of going from being stuck at the same level financially for over a decade, struggling, eating disorder, panic attacks, all the things, like kind of outwardly presenting like everything was really good, but inwardly struggling, to within 6 weeks, turning my annual income into my monthly income, healing a lot of the deep stuff. And now the work that I do is really around women, wealth, and just knowing that you can have it all. I'm a big believer in that. Um, Michelle, you want to introduce yourself
Yeah,
and let
yeah.
everyone who hasn't yet met you know who you are?
Hello, everyone. It's so good to see all of you. I'm Michelle Chalfant, and I have created the adult chair model, which helps people to live in the highest versions of self. I love working with women and men, but mostly my audience is women. And what I do is I help people to dismantle their limiting beliefs so they can feel alive in their life and truly thrive. I love working with women in business and leadership. So I have a podcast called The Michelle Chalfant Show. I also have two coaching certifications. So I've been working with women in business for a very long time now. And also I run a membership and I love, love this work. And the way that Jessica and Elisa and I have come together is so synchronistic. I'm just so honored to be here with all of you today. So take it away, Jessica.
Hello, everyone. I'm just so excited to be here. My whole body is buzzing. Whole body is buzzing right now. And I'm Jessica Papineau. I am the owner, founder, and CEO of CSJ Styling. Uh, I help to I help women, high performing women, step in and embody their full power. Now, obviously, my modality is fashion. And I help these women to really elevate their fashion to a point of being able to see themselves in a mirror and reflecting back at them is the highest, best version of who they are and who they're meant to be. And I'm really helping women to allow themselves to take every gift, their God-given gifts, and share them with the world so that all of those gifts can then be shared with others to create a trickle-down effect of women that are rising together. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here today, really. I help women one-on-one. I have a signature styling experience where I help women one-on-one to elevate their fashion through my curated boutique. 16 clothing lines of amazing clothes for them. And I also have a mastermind of women, collective women that are rising. And I'm just so excited to be here. I'm literally, like I said, I'm buzzing. I'm like a little kid. My butterflies in my stomach. I'm so excited. And I'm so happy that you are all here. I know that who is here today live and who is here watching back is exactly who is meant to be here. And I know that you were all called in to be here today. So thank you. And thank you, Elise. Take it away, girl.
Gosh, yes, yes, yes. Well, 100%. And what I want to say, it's you took the words out of my mouth, which is that's how we know we're in alignment, is we're all saying the same thing. It is no accident that you are meant to be here. And we will share a little bit of the origin story of what caused this to come together and why we wanted to create this for you. And then the next 3 days are really in support of you shedding anything that doesn't get to come with you as you head into the new year, and also really tapping into and calibrating to a higher level of vision for your business, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, maybe you're in corporate, and your life, right? Your relationships, your health, your appearance, like Jessica spoke about. And so there is something much larger than all of us orchestrating this. We feel that this has been, I think the word surrender, Jessica and Michelle and I have used so many times. We'll share just a little, and we're all going to weave in some of our own experiences in building and creating our empires up until this point, and then what we're doing moving forward as well as we go throughout this week. Because I think personal stories help connect, and you'll see yourself in that. What I want to do is share just a little bit of the origin story. And then, Jessica, I'm going to have you share a little bit of when we kind of knew and it clicked about a year ago that we were meant to do something for this group. Um, but Jessica and Michelle were both phenomenal women I was introduced to through mutual friends, maybe 2 years ago now, I think. And I think like a lot of relationships, sometimes it's timing. And Michelle, I know you and I tried to connect with each other for a while, and I was like pregnant, just given birth to my second. And Jessica, I think the same thing happened with you. It was like a
The same
delay.
thing.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it was such a delay in getting together. I ended up meeting both of them and then had an event, July, I think it was July of last year, a live event where you both came to Portland, Maine. It was one of our live events. And I had this knowing, I was like, you two, like, you need to know each other. There's something here. How many of you, like, there's just something in your life where you've had a knowing and you're like, it doesn't even make logical sense, but I have a knowing. So there was a knowing that there was some sort of connection that was meant to happen
Hmm.
here. Fast forward to December of last year, we were in Florida. I was pregnant with my third, and was sitting on a couch recording for my podcast, and we
Mm.
felt something kind of click. Jessica, do you want to speak to that moment and how
Mm.
we knew in that we didn't have the full picture, but we knew we were meant to create something for the greater community?
Yes. So, Elise, you were just mentioning, has anyone ever felt that feeling, that knowing with other people? And the way that I describe it or like to describe it is there's a familiarity that is like no other. It's like you grew up with these people. It's like they are part of your family. And so it can be very difficult to even put it into words because it really is a magical feeling that it's not in your head. And this is why, Elise is talking about it doesn't make logical sense. It is a place where you drop deep into your heart space and something shifts. Something changes that is bigger than you in that moment. And I will never forget the moment. And it was a moment. And I truly believe that if you are tapped into your heart space, these transformations do happen in a moment. If you're not gripping, if you're not questioning them, if you just relax and you drop in. And what happened was that day we were doing this collective podcast, Elise, on your YouTube channel. It was for your YouTube channel as well. And we're on this beautiful couch in this beautiful space, and there's all these people, cameras around us and lights shining on us. And we each had our like coffee mug in front of us. And I can remember it like it was just happening. And you were in a chair across from me, Elise, and Michelle had the whole big couch to herself. I just remember, and she was just kind of spread out on this couch like a queen. And Elise is on one side wearing this beautiful blue dress with her belly all big and looking all beautiful. And she's looking across at me, and we are wrapping up this collective podcast, and we're all like, I had goosebumps the entire time.
Mhm.
As soon as it wrapped up, there was a moment, and I know we each felt it, where our hearts opened. And this is the only way to describe it, because when these things happen, you can't always put them into words. And I felt something in my heart, and it poured in like a lightning bolt, like this source of energy and light put like coming through my heart from two different ways. And one was going to Michelle, to her heart, and the other one was to Elise. And it was creating this triangle. And I'm like, I have goosebumps everywhere right now, ladies. And I hope you're feeling the energy of this. And we looked at each other and we said, did you feel that? And we all, exactly, we all shook our heads. Yes. And we just settled into it. And over the last year, we have allowed it to flow through, because we know it's big, but we also know that it's bigger than us and it's its own entity.
Mhm.
So that's the story, ladies.
I love it. I always love when you share it because you talk about the triangle and feeling it. And um here's what I'll say and what we're so excited to bring for you this week and then offer to those of you who are aligned for what we're doing in 2026. And we'll share more as we go. But it's funny, the word empire has continued to come up over this past year. So this was a year ago that we first connected and felt that and said, holy crap, there's something here we're supposed to do. Oh yeah, Lauren, you were there. Yeah, look, Lauren is my director of marketing. She's amazing. She was there. And it's so fun because that was just about a year ago. We felt that. And Laura D, you're on camera. I see you because you've known it. You've been like, y'all are meant to do something together. So this has been such a beautiful becoming. But over the course of the year, as we have all really just been available for what's meant to unfold, the word empire has shown up again and again and again. And it kind of clicked earlier this year where we said, holy crap, we are meant to come together in a really meaningful way, like more meaningfully than we can even do on our own when we work our collective magic with our individual communities, and create a space where women who are done playing small, who are ready to unapologetically claim everything they want that is true for them. And we're going to talk about that today because that's really big, where they can come and expand and rise up. And the word collective, Jessica, you and Michelle texted that earlier today, and it showed up on my group call this morning too. That's a powerful piece of this. This week and what we're doing going into next year, it's not about lone wolf. I'm going to go build my empire and not have a community. There is a collective rising that both Jessica and Michelle had felt, and that I felt as well, that I think we're all being invited into right now. Whether you choose to take it or not is up to you. And we are all being invited to a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of vision for what's available to you. And that's what we're going to tap into today. And also a shedding and a releasing of what no longer serves as well. So, with that, I'm going to do just a quick high level tech logistics, what to expect. And then I'm going to get into some of the training for today. I'll share some of my own personal story and even just things I've been experiencing these past few months where I'm like, holy moly, we're all being invited into a higher level of thinking as we go into the next year. So tech and logistics. Number one, we're so happy that you're here. Welcome. If we haven't set it up already, we want to ask if you can, cameras on, please. We want to see your face. And I understand everyone's got stuff going on. I remember hearing someone once say going into a Zoom without your camera on is like sitting in the front of a classroom with a paper bag over your head. Like, it just made me laugh. I share it because it makes me laugh. Do what you got to do, but if you can be on camera, we want to see you. We want to interact. This is meant to be a collective thing. It really is. Fully present. This will change your life if you allow it to. So close off your phone, close off distractions. You will get out of it what you put into it. These 3 days, regardless of where you go from here and what you do with it, they have the potential to dramatically change the trajectory of the rest of your life. All right. So your life is worth that. You are worth that. And actually, the change happens once you start really believing that and recognizing your worth enough that you allow yourself to be fully present. So I want to invite everyone to be fully present with what is and to be here so that you can really get the most out of it as well. We will send out a replay afterwards. So you will get the replay because you're registered. That'll go out via email. So check your email. If you don't see in your email, check your spam. We are meeting at the same time, same place every day. So today, tomorrow, Friday, 11:30 to 1 Eastern on this Zoom link. So mark it on your calendar if you haven't yet. We want to see you there. And you can invite your girlfriends, like Jessica talked about, like some of the women that we serve, powerful women going for more in their lives. Like invite your community, invite your friends. This is really about we know the right people are going to be here and get this message. And you're connected to people who are meant to be part of this as well. What you can expect the next 3 days. Today, we are going to lean into a higher level vision activation for next year. So my personal specialties are identity, wealth, quantum leaping. That's what we're going to lean into today. Tomorrow, Michelle is going to work her magic for what you don't get to take with you in order to truly step into your empire and what gets to be released. And this is some of the most important work and some of the most powerful work that sometimes people avoid, but it will slow you down. It will weigh you down. You will not have the same experience and the same results if you aren't willing to kind of go underneath and look at where you're being held back or holding yourself back so that you can ascend. So tomorrow is going to be incredibly powerful work with Michelle. I mean, she came and spoke at my event a few months ago, and within like 5 minutes, you changed my life with one thing you shared. So this is you want to be there live. You do not want to miss it. Friday, Jessica is going to step us all into embodiment of your next level. So after you've cleared what no longer serves, you're clear on your vision. Now you've cleared what no longer serves for you to actually experience it. Now, how do you embody her now? How do you connect with the frequency of the woman who has and lives and leads your empire? And that's going to be internal and external embodiment. Friday is the day where we will also share how you can work with us. If you want to go into 2026 with us, we have something very, very special, very unique. We've never done it before. It is very spirit-led, I will say. And we will share more about that. We'll tell you a little bit about it today and tomorrow. It is application only. And we will share how you can apply for that if you're feeling called as well. So if you have questions on it, you can reach out to us, but we're going to share all the details on Friday. Here is what I want to invite you to reflect on. You are here for a reason. We announced this end of last week and had literally hundreds of women sign up right away. Like it's again, there is something bigger than us at play here where there is something that is speaking to you about this message. I want to invite you to share in the chat. What is it that is resonating most with you right now about this conversation around building your empire? When you heard about this, whether it was through myself, whether it was through Michelle, through Jessica, through someone else, why are you here? What is your intention for this time? I think that we can kind of go throughout our day and go from thing to thing to thing without really stopping and being present with the magic that's in front of us. I want to invite you to share your most powerful intention for today and for this week and for this experience in the chat as well. So I'm going to give everyone a minute to share. and to share what's showing up for you. I'm going to invite Jessica and Michelle just briefly to share your intention if you would like to, like probably 30 seconds or less, because we got a lot to cover. Jessica, you're off mute. Do you want to share first and then Michelle, you share?
Sure,
Oh, go
sure. I'll
ahead.
share. My intention really, and I really, I dropped in to my heart space right before getting on this call, and it's really feeling into the energy of every woman that is here, and also tapping into what called her to be here. I don't feel that I'm feeling like, we're each, Elise, Michelle, and I, a conduit for what's meant to
Mhm.
come through. And it's my intention that I stay fully present with the energy in this room, to really know what needs to be delivered to all of you. And so I have no desire to control any outcomes. Like Elise was saying, there's a surrender to this as well, and just an allowing of the energy to move in whatever way it's meant to move.
Amazing.
I
Amazing.
love it.
Michelle, go ahead.
My intention, I did the same thing. I sat with it and I said, what is my intention for this? And first, it was to trust this whole process as we've done over the last year. But the second thing that came in was expansion. It was this I'm intending, and it wasn't even something that I want. The energy came in and said, this is all about expansion. And I said, that I can align with. I love that. So, my intention is to align with and help all of you align with expansion. And as we go into 2026, that's what 2026 is all about. So, energetically, that's what we're going to do here is to expand.
I love it. It's, yes, very on point for what we're doing. I'm just
Yeah.
checking in the chat what some of our members are sharing. Laura, becoming who I need to be to build my empire. I love it. You get it. You understand it. We don't get what we want, we get what we are, right? So, how do we become a vibrational match for the thing that we want? That's super powerful. Hadn't ever considered building my own empire, but that's exactly what I want. I love that. Who here, drop a one in the chat if you hadn't really thought about building an empire until you saw this, but then you saw it and you're like, ooh, I want that. Drop a one in the chat if that was you. Maybe you hadn't considered it. You're like, you know what? That's speaking to me. Yeah, here we go. We're going to talk today too about what an empire is, because you get to define it for you. It's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all. But to me, it's about you having it all and living the bigness of your life. And Michelle, to your point about expansion, yes, like bigger than you can imagine. For sure, for sure, for sure. Liz, new life coaching business, finding I'm standing in my own way. That's great awareness. Divine path, yes. Cindy, building my empire by serving others. I love it. Ray, I love that you felt the divine femme vibes. Michelle, before we spoke, didn't you talk about this is all divine feminine energy? I will tell you, your empire, whatever that looks like for you, this is what I'm feeling and seeing in my own life. I think Michelle and Jessica are both seeing it, and everyone here is probably feeling it. Um, it is not about the grind, hustle, masculine energy you maybe took to get to where you are right now. The masculine is beautiful. We can leverage masculine energy intentionally to support us in our vision and goals. Your expansion as we go into 2026, whatever that looks like for you, is going to, the backbone of it is going to be you stepping into feminine energy like never before, knowing, surrender, release, which is why tomorrow is going to be so powerful, and also opening up to what is bigger than you could have imagined before. So we're really leaning into divine feminine. Even the creation of this has all been divine feminine. We'll be like, okay, we hear you. Let's go. We trust it. Angela, brave enough for what's next. I love that. Oh my gosh. Yes. We're going to talk about snake year, horse year today because I think we've all been feeling it. So 100%, if you feel like you're being called to something that requires you to be brave, raise your hand if you're on camera. If you feel like you're being called, or yes, beautiful, like everyone, right? There's a lot of that going on right now. You are in the right place. You are in the right place. Shedding aspects of my life. Yes. Overcoming limiting beliefs. Oh my gosh, you are all in the right place. 100%. Okay, I can't read everything, but I love this. Keep sharing in the chat. This is, I want everyone to be in this energy together. So I am going to share, I'll share a little bit of my own experience, even this year, like this fall, some things where I said, wow, like it is time to build an empire like never before. And then we're going to go into some vision activation for you to help you really connect with what it is that you're going to create over the next 2 days with Michelle and with Jessica as they lead their segments as well. So, some of you know my own personal story, some of you don't. So, I'll do like a very high level, kind of quick Cliff's Notes version. And many of you who are in my community, I haven't shared much about some of the shifts that have happened in the past few months. So I'll share just high level some of that because it's incredible how this is for all of us here. So my own backstory, I was like corporate sales powerhouse, hustle and grind, like work to the top of the leaderboard in corporate selling in my 20s. And I found myself having quote unquote done all the right things to try to lead a happy, successful life. And on the outside, looking like I had it all, but on the inside, stuck, struggling, panic attacks, eating disorder. So, who here, again, drop a one in the chat or raise your hand if you've ever found yourself at a point in your life where you're like, man, I did the things I thought I was supposed to do to be happy and successful or to look good. Like I got the corporate job, I made the six figures, I did the things Sarah saying one time 10,000. Kind of like, you're there right now. Okay. Yep. Pay attention for anyone who's there right now. Pay attention to the whispers. I want you to listen to what your intuition is telling you because there's something greater for you. I promise. And I think today and then tomorrow, and of course, Friday, like you're going to get a lot of clarity. But yeah, that's where I was. That's where I was. Long story short, on my 35th birthday, I have a history now of making wishes on my birthdays that really changed the trajectory of my life because I did it again recently, and I'll tell you some of what happened. But on my 35th birthday, I made a wish that really changed my life. And I said, I want to experience the fullness of who I am. And from that wish, in a period of a very short amount of time, um, things shifted very fast. So one of the things that I didn't share earlier was for 10 years leading up to that, I had been stuck at the same income level, where no matter how hard I worked, no matter how many hours I burned the candle at both ends, I always made, for me, it was like low six figures. I couldn't break past that. And I always felt guilt, anxiety, fear, worry about money. Who here has some of that going on around money or has had that going on around money? Like it was a big story for me as well. In 6 weeks of making that wish and doing some really deep soul level work, which is what the foundation and backbone of our programs are built on now, I turned my annual income into my monthly income, launched a new company, launched this brand, had absolute transformation, really financially, but also in other areas of life. And I am now blessed to get to teach sales, wealth consciousness, business, and life expansion to primarily women, but also some really great men the world over. And I say like what we do is I say sales is the Trojan horse because a lot of times people come in because they're like, I want to grow my sales, I want to grow my income, but the way in which, and we'll weave this in the next few days, the way in which you're going to dramatically grow your sales and income, it's not through building the perfect funnel or saying the perfect script. It's by shifting your identity. It's by releasing what no longer serves. And it's by actually feeling worthy of what you want. So one of the biggest things that I say, and I know, is your level of income will never exceed your level of self-worth. I want you to write that down. Your level of income will never exceed your level of self-worth. All right. So I want you to think about who here has a higher income goal for next year. Who here would love to bring in more money next year? So we're going to talk about how to do that. All right. And what we're creating for next year is for women who want to grow and ascend in all areas, including financially. And my experience has been, I don't care where you are right now. I don't care how long you felt stuck at the same level. You can quantum leap in an instant when you shift your perspective and you do the work that we're doing here. You really can. So I don't want you limited or held back by what it is that you've done this year or whatever you've done in the past. Today and moving forward, I want you tuned into what you really, really want, what you really, really want. And so today I'm blessed to say I'm an author, I'm a keynote speaker, I'm a transformational coach. I now run a multi-million-dollar company. I'm a mom of 3 kids, 5 and under. do this working part-time hours. And I say all of that not to be like, oh, look at me. I say that to say you can have what you want. All right. It is a decision. So for anyone who has said, I can't have it, I can't do it because, I want you to think about all the reasons why you say you can't have what you want. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your background, maybe it's quote unquote lack of training, this or that. We actually wrote a book about it in my community a couple of years ago called Permission to Be Powerful. Your entire life will change the minute you realize that no one is coming to tell you that you are good enough. No one is coming to tell you that it is time. No one is coming to tell you that you can be a multimillionaire, that you can successfully launch the business, acquire the clients, be on the platforms, be on the stages. No one. The outer world is just a mirror. And I realized in my own life when I was stuck in that holding pattern for over 10 years, I was waiting. I don't even know who I was waiting for to come tell me that I was good enough to do the things that I wanted to do. I was looking at other people running the quote unquote successful companies that I wanted to run, being on the stages, showing up in certain ways, having books. And there was something in me that was almost like shrinking and apologetic and holding back and thinking, well, they're better than me, right? Or they can do it, but I can't. How many of you have had that experience? Or you look at people doing what it is you want and you're like, well, there's something different about them. Thank you for the honesty. I totally had that experience for a long time. No, there is not. The only difference is they gave themselves permission to go for it and they stopped looking outside of them, outside of themselves for validation. And they actually decided that they were worthy to have what they wanted. So as we lean into and crystallize your 2026 vision, do not wait for someone outside of you to come tell you that you're good enough. Do not wait for outside evidence for the clients to come to feel like you're abundant and can make more money, for people to come knock on your door and ask you to come speak, to say that you're a speaker. You decide that those are the things that you are. You decide that you are no longer playing small. You decide that you're making six, multi six, seven, multi seven figures next year, whatever your goal is in your business or your sales. You decide it, you embody it, you release what no longer serves and what doesn't align there, and you will experience it. Okay, so that is what this week is about. And that is what this container and what we're creating moving forward is about. So that was, I shared, I've made a couple of birthday wishes in my life now that have changed my life. That was the first one. The second one, and this is where this is some new stuff that's been fun and interesting to experience the past few months. So I'll kind of fast forward to my birthday this year. So the past few years, it's been really living that reality. It's been amazing in so many ways, and I've had so many beautiful experiences. And how many of you have like, you built the thing, you did the thing, you're like, oh, this feels good. And then suddenly you're like, something's off. Like something's just off. How many of you have had that experience? So I turned 40 earlier this fall. And I need to start to be very careful with my birthday wishes because whatever I wish, it's like, here you go. And I maybe naively made the wish that I wanted everything in my life to be true to me. I was like, I don't even know what that means. I just want what's true to me. And I'm not going into a lot of detail because the details don't matter. Here's what I will say. Very shortly after that, almost immediately, some things, some relationships in my life, some scenarios that had felt very solid and stable were immediately upended, turned upside down. And it felt like, I don't know if any of you have had that experience this year. All of the stability that I had, that I thought I had was gone, or a lot of it was gone. Has anyone else experienced this where it's like what you thought you knew, almost like the floor is destabilized? It felt like the word that I remember using early on, it was like a divine destabilization. Because you know in those moments, like if you're attuned enough, you know that there's something bigger happening, that everything is always working out for us. But it still feels like crap when you're going through it. Like, let's be honest, it doesn't feel good. It's not enjoyable. And so it's been really interesting. And I was actually on a call with one of my mentors yesterday, and what I was sharing with her, and I share this because I'm curious who else has felt this, because then I don't think this is just me. And I know that Jessica and Michelle have also had their own experiences of up-leveling this year. I said, the only way I know how to describe what the past like month or two have felt like is like, I was this bowl, like almost like a dirty dish in the sink that had gunk in it. And I've been like scraped out over the past month where it's like just this clearing and this cleansing. And it's been moments of some of the biggest grief I've ever experienced in my life, while simultaneously, intermittently, moments of more clarity and more power that I've ever felt in my life. Who here is going through something like that or has had something like that happen this year or not, not too long ago? So it's here is what I know, and here is what we are laying this foundation on over the next few days. When you are ready to build your empire, it has to be true to you. And that's why I know that wish upended some things, because there were some things in my life and some scenarios where it wasn't actually true to me. And I was pretending like it was. And I was like looking away, sticking my head in the sand, like, no, it doesn't matter. When you build that empire, you want it in total alignment with who you are and what you came here for. You want it true to you. If there is any place where you have been settling, if there is any place where you've been saying yes when what you really mean is no, when your body consistently constricts, when you're in a conversation with someone, when you're in a relationship, maybe it's a client, maybe it's a team member, maybe it's a scenario, and you're like putting your head in the sand. You're like, no, I don't want to deal with it, or I don't want to see it. I want you to pay attention to that. And tomorrow, Michelle is going to help you lovingly shine a light on those areas so that you can move in your power to release them. But you don't want to build an empire on a shaky or unstable foundation. This is more important than ever. As we move into 2026, the energy is moving faster than ever before. And we're going to talk about that. And Jessica's really going to lean into that on Friday. That's why we want to cleanse and clear and release anything, even if it feels like massive destabilization. There is a reason behind it, and it has to happen in order for you to be able to build and create your empire in a way that is true for you. All right. Think about too, where are you putting up with something that just doesn't work for you, but you're like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I can handle it. But your intuition is really like, no, it's not. Right. Where are you finding that to fit into a room, a relationship, a scenario, you have to show up as a smaller version of yourself? That doesn't work here. Okay, that doesn't work here. And I know it feels like hard work and scary work, but it is the deepest, most powerful work. I saw someone say we need to throw perimenopause in the mix. Yeah. Okay. Kyla was saying being scraped to the bone. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's honestly what it's felt like. But in that scraping, and I don't know if you're feeling this yet, Kyla, there's a spaciousness. There's an opening up of being ready for something new, of being ready to receive. So just know, whew, it's actually a really big gift, as uncomfortable as it can feel. So I remember sharing all of this with Jessica and Michelle a few weeks ago. And Jessica's like, oh, well, it's been a snake year. I was like, what? I said, tell me more. So I don't, many of you are probably into this and aware of this. I wasn't paying a lot of attention to it. So apparently the snake year is like you shed everything that no longer serves, and it's massive release, massive shedding, massive transformation. I said, well, that would have been helpful to know like a month or two ago. Okay, I was almost relieved. I was like, thank God. Okay, it's not just me. Like there is something bigger going on. Who here feels like you've been shedding big time? Yeah, so it's it's not just you, okay? We're in it. It's a global type of thing right now. So she said it's a snake year. I said, oh, thank God. I would have loved to have known that a month ago, but at least it all makes sense now. Moving into 2026 is a horse year. Jessica and Michelle, do either of you want to come off mute and talk about what that is? Because we're going to be leaning into that as we go this week.
Well, just think of the visual of Getty Up.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. But yeah, I mean, thank you, Snake, for letting us shed and release that so that we can capture the thing, we can do the thing, we can rise without fear of
Yeah.
those things holding us back.
I mean, Yeah, and it makes so much sense. So whatever it is, and maybe you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't feel like I've shed that much. I want you to pay attention. Is there something that you are ignoring? Is there something that you're suppressing? Is there something you haven't wanted to deal with? Not saying you have to do it. Like this is all, you're in control and you're at choice. And collectively, we are being invited to really release what no longer serves so that, Jessica, to your point, we can go fast and go far in 2026. And so that's kind of the theme that you're going to feel this week in the arc. So tomorrow with Michelle, snake. We're letting go. We're releasing. We're shedding. Friday with Jessica, horse. Here we go. Giddy up. Let's do it. So, are we excited? Give me a one in the chat if you're excited. Like, I tell you what, it all makes sense when you look at it through this lens. You're like, we're all being invited to do this. And it's so beautiful. Laura, I shed my corporate job and that was the end of my shedding. No, it's never the end. But it's something really powerful to acknowledge yourself for because that takes a lot of stepping into the next level, right? And you've done that really beautifully and really powerfully. We were actually talking about this, Jessica and Michelle and I, before we went live today. We're all having visuals right now, and I'm getting messages in my dreams. Jessica, you had this vision of like lifting, like an ascension, almost like a weightlessness type of energy coming in. You can't have the heaviness of what no longer serves pulling you back. You can't. So whether that's limiting money beliefs, whether that's old relationships or scenarios that are misaligned, whether that's shoulds, as we talk about building an empire, you're going to hear this week and you'll hear if you choose to join us beyond this, you'll hear about women hitting certain money goals, hitting certain income goals, going for whatever their target is, six, multi six, seven figures, eight figures beyond. I don't want you to ever compare. All right. Money itself is not the vision. Money is the how of your vision. Your empire is meant to be built in truth with the alignment of who you are, who you came here on this planet to be. And that is different for every single one of you. And financially and money, because that's what I do a lot of work on with my clients, we want to tune in to who is that fullest expression of you? Who did you come here to be? Right? Who are you here on this planet to be? I will tell you, she is far greater than you're probably thinking right now. All right. I will tell you that. It's not about comparison, but what I want you to pay attention to is what is it that you see other people doing that one either sparks jealousy, because that actually means it's meant for you. You're just not quite a vibrational match yet. Or two, lights you the F up. All right. Whether I don't care if you're not speaking yet, but you see people on stages and you're like, holy crap, that speaks to me. Or you hear a woman talking about her multi-million dollar empire and she's working part-time hours and you're like, holy crap, I don't even know how that's possible. That feels almost impossible, but I would love that, right? If I could have that, I would love that. That is because it is for you. So don't compare, but pay attention to what lights you up because this container this week and beyond is to really support you in stepping into the fullness of who you came here on this planet to be. No shoulds, no apologies, nothing that is not meant to come with you and no longer serves. All right. So if you are in a season of snake right now, I want you to remember this one thing. I heard someone say this once and it spoke to me so much. Everything grows in the dark. All right. Everything grows in the dark. Babies, plants. I want you to think about that. All right. There is a period, and I don't care what type of empire you've already built or what type of mountaintop moment you've already experienced. There is a period where you get to recalibrate, where you get to kind of go back within. We're in winter season as we record this. There's kind of I don't know if you all are feeling this, but I'm feeling it. It's like inward, quieter, like there's stuff percolating. Spring always comes. It always, always comes. So, what are you being prepared for? What are you ready to release? What is it that doesn't get to come with you? That's what I want you to play with. It's so funny. Jessica, Michelle, do you all have this where when you have an event or something you've got to speak about, like the universe gives you like a song or it gives you a quote or it gives you, for me, sometimes it's like an embarrassing story that day that I can tell about myself on stage. Chrissy Cavalier knows this. At my events, I always have something like ridiculous about my kids the day of. Michelle, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I had
You have
one
that?
because when
Yeah,
I came up to
go for
speak
it.
at your event in October, if you remember, I had swallowed a screwdriver at the dental office.
I almost just shot water out. I remember.
And I almost didn't speak about it. I'm like, should I talk about this?
Ah.
And a lot of people there knew dentistry and were involved in that. So I'm just going to share the story of how the dentist dropped his little tool down my throat and what that experience was all about. So, and it honestly, I talked about it on my podcast. So many people are like, oh my God, like I want to learn how to do what you do. How did you navigate that with
Yeah.
such peace? So, yeah, absolutely. Yes. We use all those things to help us.
We always get something, right? That
Always
was a
something.
doozy. I
Yes,
remember
for
that.
sure.
Mine wasn't quite as epic this morning, but it was just a song that came on while I was getting ready. I don't know if you all do like the Spotify day list. I'm obsessed with it right now, where it gives you the playlist for your day based on your listening. So I just discovered it. I'm having so much fun with it. But this song came on this morning called No Mud, No Lotus. And I loved that. No mud, no lotus. So for those of you who don't know, like lotuses grow out of the mud. And he said a line in there, and I wrote it down. He said, "The things that broke you also awoke you. The things that broke you also awoke you." And I was like, holy shit, excuse my French. I don't know. Sorry if you guys have clean YouTube channels and you're going to upload this later. You've got expletive. Mine tends to have some, but that spoke to me so powerfully. So, so powerfully. So it's time to wake up. It's time to stop playing small. It's time again, it's an invitation. No one is going to be forced to. But for those who are ready, who are really, really ready to experience how good life can get, experience how much money you can make, how much service you can have, how much impact you can have, how much joy, freedom, both emotional, time, money you can have, this is for you. And that's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing here. Let me just check the chat. Rose, sorry, I don't know about the Zoom glitches. We've got, I think we're okay with audio, right? Everyone can hear. Okay, okay. So maybe sign out and sign back in. Laura D had a masterclass on limiting beliefs. All the tech glitches happen. Yep. Limiting belief, everything having to go perfectly. Yeah. You've heard me say this is true. Perfectionism keeps you poor. Perfectionism keeps you poor. So Jessica, you're laughing.
You are stretching me, Elise, with
We're
this
all stretching here.
perfectionism thing, which is why we're all throwing around the word surrender.
Let's talk about your empire. Let's do it. So, Jess, I think you said this the other day when we were talking, and this is what I'm feeling and seeing too. What if, and we know it's actually true, but I want you to play with what if 2026 is bigger than your mind can currently allow? What if it was bigger than your mind could currently allow? So each of you, when you think about it, I want you to tune into your current version of an empire and what you're thinking, right? Now, I love it, Rachel. Yes, right. Yes, exactly. Um, let's talk about what an empire is. And I actually, Jessica and Michelle, I want to invite you both to share too, how, because I think this is important that we all kind of collectively define it here. Again, when I think about an empire, to me, it is not about a specific amount of money. It's not about you've got to live in a mansion and have a summer house and do this and do that, although that's lovely if you choose to do that. It is about you unapologetically stepping into the fullness of you are and having it all. What that means for you. Each of you values something different. This is important. So this is why I say pay attention to what's lighting you up that you hear about from either myself, Michelle, or Jessica, or other women here, but don't use it to make yourself wrong. Use it to say, oh, cool. I like that. That's speaking to me. I want that. All right. But we've each been conditioned, and I personally believe we choose the households that we're born into and the parents we come in through. So that's my personal belief. Often, you were raised with beliefs or scenarios that made you think that you are smaller than you are. Who here has experienced that, or who has had awareness of like, I want something far greater than maybe what I saw modeled, but I question myself, I doubt myself. The biggest thing I have learned over years of doing this work now is your desires are green lights. whatever is lighting you up, whatever is speaking to you. I don't care if you were born into a family where everyone was, and there's nothing wrong with this, right? But let's say like you were born into a lower class family or you saw a lot of struggle and scarcity, but you're like, I know I'm meant for more. Like, I know I'm meant for wealth. I know I'm meant for great world impact. This is what I'm just going to say my belief. You chose that scenario to help you create the contrast that you needed to be able to experience and step into the identity of who you are as wealth. But you have to drop the ties to the old beliefs that tell you you can't have it or that you're not meant for it. All right. So again, everyone think, I want you to, I'm going to share my beliefs and what I think, because I think that's important. But that's the scenario there as well. Angela, what if 2026 is bigger than your heart can currently allow? Amazing. Then things are being broken down and disentangled to create that space. I remember in Untamed, Glennon Doyle talks about like grief shatters, but then we put it back together. You're actually able to be rebuilt and put back together with even more expansion than you could hold before. Michelle, when you think about building an empire, because you even said this earlier this year, you were like, I'm building my empire, I'm building my empire. What does that mean for you? And what does that mean? What do you want everyone to know about that who's here live or watching the replay?
Yeah, when I think about building my empire, it feels as though I'm stepping into my fullest potential. And I love that you said, don't compare yourself to anyone else when we talk about what that potential is, because I really believe our soul is here to have an experience. And it's all of us are going to have very unique experiences in our lives. So, what our empire is going to be unique to every single one of us. But it really is about tapping into our fullest potential. So when I think about that, or when I think about my empire, I can feel this bigness. It's big, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. But when I think about empire, I do get a little specific. You know me with the details, Elise.
I love it. I
I
love
think
it.
about impacting the world. And again, I have friends, I have family. They don't have the same vision that I have, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with any of us. But for me, I feel as though my empire is here to really affect the planet in some way, shape,
Yes.
or form. It could be nonprofit, it could be, I have all these ideas, but I'm just aligning what's in with whatever is inside of me. It's guiding me. Michelle up here in my mind is not guiding me into this empire idea. This thing inside of me is lighting up. And that's the same thing that came alive with the two of you a year ago.
Mm,
And I
yeah.
realized it was such an activation that we had being in each other's energy. And when other people have been around us, Laura D, where are you? Like I know she's like, when are you going to do something? I'm like, yeah, I do get it. There is an energy here that is activating in a very good way for other people as well, but it also has been activating for us. So it's to me, an empire is the elevation, the activation of whatever that we're here to do, but truly it's about stepping into our divine fullest potential. Your
Mm,
soul, I don't believe your soul cares if you have hot dogs or grilled cheese for lunch, but I do feel that when we're able to step into our fullest potential, it's magnificent. And again, whatever it might
mm,
be, but
mm.
we've got to be willing again and able to do this work of you. I love this chat. I'm reading all the chats. It's so beautiful because you guys are so vulnerable about what's blocking you. This is a friend. Yeah, that's what it's all about. We can have that vision and we've got to dismantle those old beliefs because that's what's shutting us down. Elise, you're like a quote machine today. I'm like writing everything you're saying down. Like, this is so good. Perfectionism, what does it say? Keeps you
Keeps you
poor. That
poor.
was
Yeah.
so amazing. But perfectionism comes from the mind, not from
Mm,
our soul. That's
yeah.
not our soul speaking. That's the mind speaking. So again, the empire is so driven by the heart and the soul and the body and its alignment with whatever I'm here to do. So
Mm,
that was
yeah.
really long, but that is like, that's the empire. And there is a bigness to what that is. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. I want to say one more just quick thing, Jessica, before you share. Michelle, can I talk about the B word that we were texting about 1 to 2 years ago when we first connected?
What was the name? Oh, yes. I like the B word. Okay, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so Michelle, and I want to do this I want to share this to
Yes.
model for everyone what it's like to be available for this.
Hmm.
So Michelle spoke about that bigness, and it's not coming from your head, it's not coming
No.
from ego, it's not coming from I need this to
Mhm.
feel good enough or validated. It's coming from a soul knowing. So there is a difference, and I have approached success and money and all of it through a lens of not enoughness and validation. That was when I was stuck at the same level and couldn't get past. When you learn how to drop into your heart and your soul, which Michelle will teach us tomorrow, Jessica will carry forward on Friday, in which we're going to be helping our group of women do who are in this container with us moving forward. The vision that comes through is often far bigger than even what your ego mind could consider. The ego is also what tells you you're not good enough. It's what tells you to stay small. It tells you you're thinking too big. So when Michelle and I first connected, and I think it was maybe a year and a half ago that we were texting about this, we kept talking, like the word billions was showing up everywhere, 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 to the point where we were like getting chills, like, holy crap, what is this? That takes bravery and courage to say, I am available for billions, whether that's impacting billions, making billions, because we've been taught it means something, right? We've been taught it's this or that, or there's judgment on rich people. That's probably why I love the wealth energetics work that I get to do with my clients, because if you've got judgment on billionaires, you're not going to be one. I can tell you that. But Michelle, I want to acknowledge you for that, and that you were connected to that energy, because that is from a place of service. And when we are available to be used, when we are available for our lives to mean something and for your version of impact, whatever that is meant for you to come through, you're going to get things like, I'm making millions, multi-millions, billions. I'm impacting the world in bigger ways than I ever thought I could. And I don't care about the voice in your head that says, who me? That's not your soul, that's your ego. Okay, so again, empire is what's true to you, but it's bigger than you're probably giving yourself credit for right now. Jessica, what is it? Oh,
Wait,
sorry, Michelle, you were
can
going
I
to say
just
one
say
more
one
thing.
more thing about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Because I want to prep everyone for the work tomorrow that we're going to do together. I should have said this in the beginning, but if anyone feels triggered by
Mm,
anything that is coming up today, and think back even for the last hour that we've been on, please write it down.
yeah.
I've said this for years. Triggers are our gift. So
Ooh,
when you're triggered, when you feel uncomfortable, when you feel that, ooh, I don't like what she's saying. That feels weird to me. I don't like it. I'm getting angry for some reason. Whatever's
mm,
coming up for you, and I say that intentionally, it's coming up for you to show you an inner belief that is in the unconscious mind that is yours. If anything is a trigger, please write it down because we're going to work on that tomorrow. So that is information you need in order to expand and in order to then step into and align with whatever your empire is. So just had to say that.
amazing.
Okay, so first I just want to say something funny because when you were talking about the B word, Michelle, I remember when I was standing outside on my driveway and you and I were planning me picking you up at the airport in Orlando for us to go and do this collaborative podcast with Elise. And I'm on the phone and I'm, trying to figure out how to get there and whatever. And I get off the phone and Ken said, well, I'm just worried about you driving in Orlando. There's a lot of which airport is she in? And I said, honey, there's only one airport in Orlando. And he said, well, she has a private jet, right? He said, what are you talking about? And he said, I don't know. When you talk about these girls, and I just assumed Michelle had a private jet and you were picking her up at this airport where the private jets landed. So
And
anyway,
Ken
just
is
had to
tapped
say,
in.
and he's
Wait,
tapped, yes.
Tapped
yeah,
in.
we need to talk about just that Ken
Yeah.
has, and he's a very, 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 very intuitive guy. So when I got in the car with you, I was like, what? I was like, I will align with that for
There
sure.
you
Thank
go.
you.
Well, I think it's a matter of so and this kind of leads me into empire, right?
Mhm.
I think and when Ken said it, he said it as if it was so normal.
Mhm.
right? And so, I mean, and I know you talk about this all the time, Elise, and our minds, like it's whatever we normalize, right? It makes it true, right? It makes it real. It makes it expansive. It makes it so that we're worthy of it. And of course, we would have private jets, right? And
Mhm.
so, I want to invite all of you, though, to really think about the word empire because we've had a lot of conversations, Michelle and Elise and I, about the word empire. And I think as human beings, we put all these labels with words of what we think they are. Because I know when I think about the word empire, I think about it's high up, right? It's an empire. It's higher than everybody else and of everything else. And when you think of it in terms of that, it's almost like it's a hierarchy, right? It's like, oh, well, I'm down here. I want to get to the empire, right? I want to get there. There's all those people up there. Do I deserve to be in the empire? And here's the thing about the empire, because we're talking a lot about ascension today, right? Ascending to something grand, something big, something bigger than us. And the thing with ascending that I think all of us really need to know and understand, and we're going to kind of weave in and out of this over the next few days, we have to descend to
Mm.
ascend, right? So, when we're looking outside of ourselves, thinking about this word empire, and it's so high up, and we want to ascend, we desire. I want you all to really consider first about the dissension, and in that dissension, to get really, really clear on some things. So I want you to each leverage your senses, right? We were put on this earth with certain senses. And I think oftentimes we don't leverage them because we're so on the outside world looking out there at what everybody else has and does, and they're rising, and I want to be there. If you take all that noise out and you go inward, right? And you use your senses. And this is something, I mean, and we'll get into this on Friday. I won't go too in the weeds here because we'll talk more about empire and what that means. But if you leverage your senses, so Elise talked about knowing, right? Your knowing. Okay, that is a sense. We can call it a sixth sense if we like. I believe there's more than five senses. So the knowing to really, and then Michelle used the word tapping in. Okay, so the knowing, we're tapping into that knowing in that sixth sense. But then there's other aspects of that, of our senses. We have visual senses, right? Now, let's consider that we also have visual senses that do not require our eyes to be open, right? So I want you to really consider that because we have those senses, we have those abilities. Yes, we've watched televisions and we are on our phones and we're visually stimulated. We can visually stimulate ourselves using something called imagination. And so when I think of empire, I think of tapping in to all of my desires. And I know each of you has desires that maybe you don't even pause and think about and marinate in and use those senses of closing your eyes and imagining and smelling even. What does it feel like to be in? We're going to use money. I mean, this is really about abundance, but what do you smell in that room of being in this billions headspace, right? What does that look like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like to be there and utilizing all your senses? And so I just want to invite all of you to really think about, what does empire mean to you? Not what it means to me, not what it means to Elise, not what it means to Michelle. I want you to, because we're going to be talking about this on Friday. So, as you're writing down what triggers may come up, I also want you to write down what the meaning of that word means to you. And it could be describing a feeling or a sense, or I want you to really think about your six senses over these next couple days. So that's how I define empire as what I desire.
I love that. I love that so much, Jessica. We're going to do a visualization shortly here. So you didn't even know we were going to do it. It teased me
No, I
perfectly.
didn't.
So thank you for that. A few things I want to add to your point of sometimes the perception of empire means, oh, it's up here and someone's better than someone else. Not at all. The way that I think about it is it's an emanation outward of who you really are. It's when you think about you in your power taking up the most space, not and that realizing that doesn't take away from anyone else. It actually inspires and mirrors to other people what's possible. You taking up the most space in your life from a place of wholeness, from a place of self-love, from a place of being true to who you really came here on this planet to be. It is, this just kept showing up, Jessica, while you're talking. It's like an emanation outward. It's an expansion outward. It doesn't mean if we are like, oh, I got to be better than someone, that's ego mind. That's not actually what we're talking about here at all. For me, when I think about my empire, like I'm living a lot of it now, and I am available for so much more. But part of my empire involves my kids. Like this is really important to me. I've got three littles, a 5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and a 7-month-old. My empire involves, I have a business that does multi-millions. I'm open to billions, Michelle. And I'm done by 12 or 2 on a later date where I can be with my babies and be with my kids. Jessica and Michelle know, like afternoons, I'm kind of like, sorry, I'm generally not going to be answering the text or doing the things because I want to be able to be present with my kiddos. It involves lifestyle, it involves experiences. I worked with some clients a few years ago in a personal branding company I was part of who wrote a book called Experiential Billionaire. And I think that for you having your empire, it's not just about a certain amount of money in the bank, although money is important and it helps support you in you living your life. So if you've got judgment on anything we're talking about money wise, like Michelle said, like pay attention to it because that's going to block you from making it. And we want to help you clear that. But it's about having million billion dollar experiences every day, whether that's like this morning with my 2-year-old. He's up with me, he's up really early with me every day right now. I'm like laying on the floor with him, eating a pear that he's stuffing into my mouth at 5 a.m. But we're snuggling. And it was like that to me is part of my empire, having those experiences with my children. And it does not mean, I think that especially a lot of times women, we think like this means I've got to hustle and grind and work like I see a lot of people do, where like you're working 16-hour days, 20-hour days to have it. No, not at all. It requires a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of identity, a higher level of being willing to receive like never before. And quantum leaping, your money, your income, your life, it's actually leaning more into feminine energy than masculine energy. It really is about opening up to how much you can receive. I was way more in masculine energy at 6 figures, like grinding, hustling, forcing. Then at 7 figures and beyond, it's way more feminine. It's way more feminine energy. So if your mind is telling you, they're telling me I've got to hustle and grind, there's no way I can make way more money and grow my business or build this brand without sacrificing everything in my life. No, I want you to drop that and release that right now. I think my purpose on this planet, Michelle and Jessica's purpose, although this is for me specific, and I think theirs is this and other things. For me, I feel like I am here. I want to help women unapologetically have it all and stop limiting themselves and stop telling themselves that because I didn't see my mom do it or my grandmother do it or other people around me do it, that I can't have it. You can have it all, whatever that looks like for you. Um, let's see here, Kyla. Yes, I was thinking to grow my empire, I would need to work 3 jobs. Nope. To grow, here's what you do. To grow your empire, number one, you get clear on what it looks like. So yes, Michelle, we do love details when we're doing this. You get clear on what it looks like. Not from a place of should. This is important. Not from a place of, oh, I'm not good enough right now. So if I do this, I'll be better. Nope. You say, if I was living on an island and no one would ever know how I was living my life, what I did, what would I love? What matters to me? At the end of my life, if I played full out, what would I be proud of? What would I want for my life? Take other people out of it. What is my knowing, my desire, Jessica? You talked about it's your desires. That is your empire. You get clear on what that is. And we're going to do, again, our visualization will help us connect with that. Then you ask, who do I get to be in order for that to happen? Because your results will never supersede your identity. So if you are trying to take action from your present level of consciousness to create results that are in alignment with a whole different level of consciousness, there's a mismatch. I call it the identity gap. You're not going to get there. You're going to feel like you're spinning. That was again my 10-year spin, stuck, struggle. I was like, I want a 7-figure business. I want to do these things, but my consciousness was 6 figures, grind, hustle. I've got to work really hard. It didn't happen. It's not going to happen. I didn't feel good enough for it. All right. You get clear on who do I get to be? And there's work we're going to be doing in this. It's a mastermind that we're launching. There's work we're going to be doing here to help you align with and connect with the identity in big ways of the woman who has what it is that is part of your empire. Then you step into the feeling of receiving it, right? Neville Goddard talked about this. Feeling is the secret. So we do energy work, alignment work to become a vibrational match, to feel abundant before the money has come in, to feel influential and impactful before you see that mirrored on your social media, on your podcast, wherever, to feel like you're already famous, iconic, doing the things. And then from that place of surrender, releasing the how, not needing to know the how, nudges will come in for aligned actions to take. But there is a difference between aligned action and hustle action. Hustle action, just, oh my gosh, I've got to get 3 jobs, or I've got to do more of the same, and I've got to grind and hustle. That is scarcity energy. When you're in scarcity energy, you are not a vibrational match to a life or a business of abundance. So it won't work. It won't get you there. All right. It's identity and energy and consciousness first, action second. There will be actions to take. They will stretch the old version of you. They will feel uncomfortable. And I've been very uncomfortable in the past month with the latest things that I'm getting to do. It is okay because it's dismantling and breaking down old limited self-concepts and perceptions. And what I have found is that there is a greater level of feeling of freedom and ease with every new level that you ascend to, but it's the inner work first, the action second. I used to teach sales. I've taught some of the top sales professionals in the world, some of the top entrepreneurs in the world, how to build your funnel, how to say this script, how to do the thing. 2 people would have the exact same process, the exact same script, the exact same funnel. One's raking in cash, selling nonstop. One has no results. Why? It's not the actions, it's the identity, it's the embodiment. Okay. So it's, I hope that helps. We don't have time to go too much deeper into that, but no, this is not about you've got to grind and push and force your way there. That's old, outdated thinking. This is about you saying, hell yeah, horse here, giddy up, let's go. If I really let this happen, what would come in for me? Okay, let me play there. Let me go there in my mind. Let me see it. Let me experience it. Let me feel it. Let me feel like it's already done. Jessica talked about the power of the imagination. Yes. From that place, I will receive aligned actions to take. They will feel intuitive. They will not usually make logical sense. You must follow them. You must trust it. It will be uncomfortable to the old version of you, but it will not feel like hustle. That's the difference. I hope that makes sense. Whew, okay, before we go on and on, let's connect with, let's start to tap into 2026 vision. Drop a 1 in the chat if you feel super clear right now on 2026 vision. I want to get a temperature read. And drop a 2 if you don't. 1 is like, I'm super duper clear. 2 is not so much. 1.5, 2, cool. Okay, there's no right or wrong here, by the way. I think if you already feel really clear, this will help you crystallize more. I think if you don't feel clear yet, and I will say for everyone here, this is the first year in a long time when I haven't done my 2026 planning going into this year, which has probably been driving Jessica and Michelle crazy because I'm like, I don't know what the calendar is, but I've been in the tunnel. I've been in Michelle calls it like the chrysalis, the muck. That's okay. So if you don't know right now, it's okay. All right. And there is a time to get really clear. And it's been fun because the past few days, it's really crystallized in bigger and bigger ways for me. So it's fun. So let yourself be where you are simultaneously. We're going to take the limits off and take the blinders off and open up to, if this was bigger than I could imagine, if I could have it anyway, I don't need to know how, what would my most grand epic vision for 2026 be as well? Is there a 3, Denise? There you go. You just made it. Make it a 3. More room for clarity. Big steps are forming. Beautiful. Still, okay, amazing. So let's just tap into the vision and the energy here. So close your eyes. Take a deep belly breath in, all the way up through your nose. And exhale. I want to invite you to put one hand on your stomach, on your womb area, another hand on your heart. Another deep breath in through your nose, pulling the breath all the way up from your root, all the way up from your first energy center, pulling it all the way up your spine to the top of your head to your crown, and exhaling. And as you do this breathing pattern, continue this breath, feeling this go all the way from your root to your crown, all the way back down. I want you to feel it's almost like an energetic cleansing. It's an energetic washing out, wringing out, releasing of anything that no longer serves, that doesn't get to come with you into your empire, into the new year. Just, again, you don't need to know the how. The mind will try to tell you, well, you need to know this or that. You don't need to know the how. Just let it happen. Know that it's happening. Know that you're being cleansed. Know that the muck is being rinsed out, rinsed off. Know that it's all in love. Know that it's all in service of your ascension, your expansion. You're being guided and led. Another deep breath in from your root all the way up to your crown. And a big exhale. I want you to just sigh out audibly. Just let it out. Whatever you've been holding on to, whatever you've been gripping, whatever you've been releasing or resisting releasing, just let that sigh out be your first step in letting it go. Just move the energy there. You don't need to do anything with it necessarily right now. You don't need to make any major changes yet. Just let it go. Just in the moment, that breath, that release, and you're aware of whatever it is that gets to be released. It could be an old limiting belief, a way you're shrinking inside a relationship or a scenario, an old feeling of maybe over responsibility or heaviness or caring, or even just the belief that things have to be hard or that you can't have it all. So letting that breath cleanse you and clear you from the inside out, I want you to bring your energy now to your sixth energy center, your third eye, the space between your eyes, right in the middle of your forehead. I want you to feel out of this space. There's this beautiful, powerful, it's almost like a projector, like this white light energy that's coming forth from this space. I want you to feel that center, bring your awareness to that center. And you may feel it activate. You may feel some energy there, some buzzing there, some sensation there. That's your space of your intuition. That's your space of your knowing. That's your space where you're going to connect to higher realms and higher level of consciousness than you have witnessed before. You may have allowed yourself to connect with before as we tune into the energy of this next year. So feel that sensation, feel that energy moving, feel it coming through you. It may feel almost like a pillar, like a beam of light coming through your forehead. And now from this place, from your consciousness in this place, I want you to ask yourself, if 2026 was better than the best I could imagine, if there were no consequences or limitations, if my 10-year vision could become my 1-year reality, and I don't need to know how, what would I be experiencing next year? I want you to just pay attention to whatever shows up there. Let's see, maybe there's crowds of people waiting to have you sign your book for them. Maybe there's stages. Maybe there's time off, vacation, relaxation with your kids, your family, your girlfriends, your partner, your loved one. There's a certain amount of money in the bank that feels so abundant, so stable, so supportive, like choices, like freedom, ooh, like gratitude. Hell yes, I receive. Thank you. Feeling like that. There's opportunities flooding in. Actually, really feel this for this group. What's coming to you? What opportunities are showing up? What are you free from? What have you grown beyond? What have you moved beyond? What thing that feels like a challenge or a problem right now is just not even existent in your reality anymore if you could have it anyway? Wave a magic wand. Take a deep breath in. Feel the energy from your root going all the way up to your third eye, moving through that space as you continue to hold this vision. And as you do this, you amplify this vision. It's growing in energy. I want you to feel it now in your heart center. What are the feelings you're feeling as this is happening in your life? Is it gratitude? Maybe tears of gratitude? Is it, oh my gosh, it was easier than I ever thought it could be? Is it, are you laughing? Are you having fun? Is the feeling light, playful? Oh my gosh, yes. I want you to feel now the naturalness, the normalness of this. Yes, of course, this is your reality. Of course, this is happening for you. This just is, it just is, it's just done. Take another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And we're going to bless this and we call it in the next 2 days. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back in. Does anyone want to share? You can share in the chat, or we have time for maybe 1 or 2 women to come off mute and share. There's power in verbalizing as well. And share in the chat. But if anyone wants to come off mute, there's a lot of power in that. Kristen, go ahead.
I'm so afraid to say it out loud.
That's okay.
But I really saw it.
Mm.
My son and I are performing at the CMA Awards together.
Ooh, I got chills for you.
And I'm 60 years old, so there's a lot of limiting beliefs around all that. But
full body chills. Here's the thing. I want you to remember this. You wouldn't see it if you couldn't do it. You would not see it if you couldn't do it. Here's the analogy that I always give is like, never in my visualization in my mind have I been like, all like seen myself playing in the WNBA. Like, oh, I just see myself making a slam dunk, doing the thing. If you meet me in person, I'm 5'3". Like, it's just not going to happen. It's just not in the cards. That's okay. And the visions that I do have, speaking, wealth, stages, impact, doing the things, that's because that's in alignment with my divine design and my purpose. You seeing that, Kristen, you and your son performing at the CMA, that is there for a reason. It is not by accident. And the only reason, you don't need to know the how. This is really important. Do not need to know the how. I want you to write down all the limiting beliefs so you can shed them tomorrow with Michelle, okay? The only reason it wouldn't happen is if you doubted yourself. If you surrender that and you say, yes, I'm calling it in, I'm in, and then you start living and embodying the version of you who does that, which means you've got greater belief in your music. You're like, of course. And again, this is all the identity work that we're going to do in this program. This is part of what we're stepping into. It by law, there's actually universal law about this. It has to happen, that or something even greater by law. Okay. You just got excited about that. So I want you to hold it. Take that with you over the next 2 days. That's incredibly powerful. Thank you for sharing. And I tell you what, when you speak it, even when you're afraid to speak it, that's the first step. That's so powerful, sister. Yes. Who else? We got time for maybe one more. One more. What is your, I see baby cakes, but I don't know your name. Come on, mute. I love how active you've been in the chat.
My name's Cassandra.
Hi.
I feel like I was definitely meant to be here. So I've been on a 5, 6 year, I think, finding myself inner work journey. And it has been ups and downs. It has been all the shadow work and it has been all the beautiful light work. And I feel like this is just coming to fruition. And I still have the chills up and down my entire body right now. My legs still weak and quivery, but in like the best way possible. And I really honestly feel like we were all meant to meet each other. I'm a clairsentient empath, and I've been feeling this thing like bubbling up and rising. And it's definitely collectiveness. Every time you guys say that word, I get the chills just up and down my body. And this is so like this is the best Zoom meeting I think I've ever been to.
Oh.
Yeah, this is great, you guys. Thank you so much.
Wow. Those feelings, who is it? Is it Tyra Banks who calls them truth bumps? The
Yes,
chill.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
so
real.
real. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're in the right place 100%. You are meant to be here. Every single one of you. Every single one of you. I'm just checking in the chat. I was in from Laura D. I was in peace, open to what was coming for me. It actually felt normal. Beautiful. So you'll experience it in real life when it feels normal. So that's part of the arc of what we want to take you through the next 2 days and then beyond for those who choose to go beyond, normalizing that. All right. So, but again, that thing lights you up. You pay attention to it. It is showing up for a reason. You could not see it. You wouldn't see it if you couldn't do it. Truly, bigness and comfort of a complete state of reception and openness. Yes. I just want to say this before we talk about what's next. The vision, like a vision that is worthy of you, is what we're stepping into here. And Bob Proctor talked about this. He said a lot of times people ask, they don't go for goals, they feel like they're not worthy of them. But your goals, everything you do with your life, you're trading your life for it. So you want to trade your life for things that are worthy of trading your life for. And anything that's worthy of trading your life for, you're not going to know how right now. You're not. You would have already done it if you knew how. But there's going to be an expansion. There's going to be a massive awakening. Any vision that I found that's compelling enough to actually like get you up, get you going, get you moving, get you excited. You have no idea how. You're not meant to know how. If you know how, you're not thinking big enough. I want you to think bigger, truly. Okay. Whew. Let's talk about what's next. We'll talk about tomorrow, the rest of this week, and what we are doing beyond. And then Michelle and Jessica, I'll invite you to just share briefly anything you want to close us out with that showed up for you today as well. So again, we are meeting same time, same place tomorrow and Friday. Tomorrow, snake energy. We're shedding, we're releasing. I will tell you, it will feel when Michelle taught at my event a couple months ago. I felt like it was like 10 years of therapy in 5 minutes. And like I released stuff that I've been holding on to for so long. But it was this higher level of awareness that you brought into it where I immediately shifted. You want to have some immediate shifts. You get in that room tomorrow. You want to drop whatever's holding you back from the vision that you just saw. You get in that room tomorrow. You invite your girlfriends. You come in here. You join us. Same time, same place. Friday, Jessica, from a place of more openness and more spaciousness, is going to teach you how to drop any limits. One of Jessica's biggest gifts is she helps you see who you really are. She helps you feel in a bigger way than you've ever felt before what is possible for you. And you will be stepping into an energetic portal where suddenly it's like, of course I'm doing these things. Of course I'm on these stages. Of course I'm making this money. You're going to rise up in that energy. So just like Jessica said earlier, we descend to ascend. That's the arc. That's what we're doing. Beyond this, I'll give you just a little preview of what's happening beyond this week so you all can be in that energy and be feeling into it. We are launching an intimate high level mastermind for up to 14 women who want to create and build their empire in 2026. We open applications on Friday. This is a very intentional thing. It has been, again, completely spirit led. The whole thing has been channeled. We got together on Lionsgate, or I think the day before Lionsgate, and Michelle channeled the most beautiful information. And we were all just, it was like we went into another realm with this. So we are opening and creating this incredibly powerful portal that is going to be available for those of you who want to go deeper into this work. So we will share all the details on Friday. We do open up applications on Friday. It's going to be life-changing for those of you who are ready and want that container. So maybe 30 seconds each because we got 1 minute. Michelle, Jessica, what do you want to share to close us out before tomorrow? Go ahead, Michelle.
I just wanted to say it's such an honor to be here with every single one of you. I can feel all of you. It's just there's a beautiful container in this group alone. So thank you all for coming and joining us today. I look forward to tomorrow. Thank you.
I feel exactly the same. My whole body has been buzzing for an hour and a half. And I feel like now I need another cup of coffee to keep me going for the rest of the day. It's been such high vibes. The one thing that and I am so grateful to all of you that felt called to come in, that chose yourselves today, because I know this is, middle of the week. We're doing this during business hours. So those of you that chose to come in, you need to congratulate yourself for taking that time and choosing yourself. Um, I want to invite all of you, now that this vision casting has happened, now that you're really in this energy of stretching, right? And like seeing what's possible and being in that energy and using your senses to kind of imagine and all these things. Tomorrow is a day to allow yourself to lean in and fully have an experience. Because let me tell you, this happens like a wave. It can move through, and it can move through very quickly. I have done this work with Michelle. I have watched her do this work in real time, and I am telling you, it's powerful. So many of us may feel a gripping feeling. That's very normal. You may feel some resistance about tomorrow. I even saw someone put in the chat, should I be scared? It's okay to have some fears. It's okay to have some fears. Acknowledge those fears. Those could be triggers for you. Something's coming up, but allow yourself to move through, because I am telling you, on Friday, Giddy up, let's go. And if you do not allow yourself to experience and fully experience tomorrow, and don't raise your hand, if you get an opportunity, you better come off mute before anybody else, because I'm telling you, this woman, Michelle Chalfant, changes lives in an instant. Before she did this work, she had a waiting list that was so big she couldn't serve everyone anymore. And she had to do the work that she now does, which is to certify people. So if you have the opportunity to be on with her tomorrow and actually do this work in real time, be ready. Get yourself prepared. Have a good night's sleep tonight, and wake up in the morning and open your heart, because this is powerful work. And thank you so much, Elise, for expanding our minds today and really feeling into this. You set the tone for everything, everything. And I feel it. I feel this rising. And thank you so much to all of you that showed up today.
So much love.
Thank you.
So much gratitude. Oh my gosh. You all are amazing. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a beautiful night, everyone. Bye.